Today on MTG Unpacked, we're taking a look at the Sorin versus Tibalt Duel decks. So these came out in 2013, a bit of a harkening back to Innistrad. So let's get a closer look here. We get two foil Planeswalker cards. So we'll take a look at that momentarily. A Pain Mage and an Unlikely Savior battle over humanity's fate. So you can read more about that there. Sorin is a vampire and Tibalt is related to the devils. So we have two ready to play 60 card decks, two deck boxes, two creature token strategy insert and learn to play guide. It also has 10 rare cards and 7 cards with new art, including 2 foil alternate art versions of the mythic rare Planeswalkers. Alright, so let's take a look here. And we don't actually have any Funko Pops for these guys, so we will have to do with Liliana, Ajani and Chandra. Let's move them out of the way. We won't need them for pack blessings today. Crack it open, take a look here. Okay, so we get two deck boxes here. We can put those together. So what is this? Hunt and Feed is the Sorin, and Torment and Agonize is the Tibalt deck. Alright. Open this up. Okay, so we've got our Planeswalkers and the decks themselves. Okay, so we'll take a look at those separately. And a quick look at this other stuff here. So what do we have? A dual deck, Sorin versus Tibalt. Fold out thing. So Planeswalker game rules. Tells you about how those work. Loyalty abilities. Fighting a Planeswalker. How that works out. And then we talk about the Sorin versus Tibalt here, so a bit of history, talking about Innistrad. So some interesting background info there, you can check that out. Okay, so we've got Sorin and Tibalt. And then the deck list. So if you wanted to build this on your own, check it out. Bunch of cards from Innistrad, Zendikar, Rise of the Eldrazi, Magic 2012. And a whole bunch of other sets and some new art, of course. And then it's talking about how the deck is working, so we'll dig into that momentarily. And then the Tibalt deck, a little bit more about that, and the deck list. So Avacyn Restored, Rise of the Eldrazi, and so on and so forth. Looks like it's a red-black deck, and this Sorin one is, what is that, black and white? Yep. Alright, so then what else do we have in the box here? I think there's the quick reference. So this is something you'll find in a lot of these dual decks. We'll take a quick look at this, so you know what this is all about. Okay, so talking about the game itself, Magic the Gathering, there we are. What the rarities are, some of the Planeswalkers involved. Here's the game board, what that will look like. And then a whole bunch of stuff for getting started, your first game. Casting spells, turn order, a whole bunch of stuff. This is actually pretty useful for new players. Combat, attacking and blocking, combat example, card types, parts of a magic card, and a whole glossary, different terms. You can freeze frame that to check it out. Holy moly, they got a ton of stuff here. Okay, so that is some light reading for you. Let's get stuck into the decks. We'll start off with Sorin. So we have a nice foil here. Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. Planeswalker Sorin, 3 loyalty for 4 mana. His +1. Put a 1/1 black vampire creature token with lifelink onto the battlefield. Is -2. You get an emblem with creatures you control get +1/+0. And his ultimate -6. Destroy up to 3 target creatures and or other planeswalkers. Return each card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. So some nice foiling on that one. Alright, so let's dig into his deck here. And incidentally, I picked this up from Amazon the other day. It was, I think it was $38, so a bit of a premium over what it used to sell for back in the day. But we shall see if it's a good deal or not. Okay, we start off, we'll look at the mana base, Evolving Wilds. So this enables you to search for basic lands. Tainted Field, adding white or black or colorless, so 2 of those. And then swamps, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 of those, I believe. And plains, 9 of those. And a spirit token. Okay, just single-sided. So we're probably going to be generating spirits with this deck. We'll pay careful attention to that. Okay, so the deck proper, we have a Doomed Traveler. So when it dies, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. There we go. So that will enable us to use a spirit token. Vampire Lacerator. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life unless an opponent has 10 or less life. Wall of Omens. Defender, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Okay, get some card draw there. Child of Night with a lifelink. Low-end vampire. Dusk Hunter Bat with Bloodthirst 1. What is that? If an opponent was dealt damage this turn, this creature enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. So this is a 1/1 for 2 flyer. So we get 2 of those. A Mesmeric Fiend. Creature Nightmare Horror. Get a load of that guy. 1/1 for 2. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand and you choose a non-land card from it. Exile that card. When he leaves the battlefield, return exile card to its owner's hand. Just one of those. Gatekeeper of MacLeod with Kicker for a single black. And when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, target player sacks a creature. Okay, so there's not too many. Actually, have there been any playsets? Pretty much just 1-ofs, 2-ofs. Next we have, this appears to be a rare, Twilight Drover, creature spirit, 1/1 for 3 mana. Whenever a creature token leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it. For 2 and white, remove a +1/+1 counter from it and put 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. So again, using the spirits there. Blood Rage Vampire with Bloodthirst 1, 3/1 for 3. Fiend Hunter. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature. When it leaves the battlefield, return an exile card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Vampire Nighthawk, another vampire with flying, death touch, and lifelink. Alright, Mausoleum Guard. When it dies, put 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Okay, so sensing a theme here. Lots of vampires, flying creatures, doing damage to the opponent. Putting +1/+1 counters on things. Phantom General, creature spirit soldier, 2/3 for 4. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1. So pumping those creatures up. Vampire Outcast, creature vampire, 2/2 for 4. Bloodthirst 2 and lifelink. Revenant Patriarch. That is pretty cool. Creature spirit, 4/3 for 5. When it enters the battlefield, if white was spent to cast it, target player skips his or her next combat phase. Revenant Patriarch can't block. So I wonder how you would cast that with white mana. Interesting. Leave a note in the comments if you know how that works. Maybe there's another card that enables that. Sengir Vampire, the classic 4/4 for 5 with flying. Whenever a creature dealt damage by this guy this turn dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Sengir Vampire. Butcher of Malakir. Okay, another rare here. Creature Vampire Warrior 5/4 for 7 with flying. Whenever it or another creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Vampire's Bite. Instant for a single black with kicker 2 and a black. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. If Vampire's Bite was kicked, that creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Decompose, check that out. Sorcery for 2, exile up to 3 target cards from a single graveyard. Okay. Sorin's Thirst, instant for 2, deals 2 damage to target creature and you gain 2 life. Urge to Feed, instant for 2, target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn, so some nice removal there. You may tap any number of untapped vampire creatures you control. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those vampires. Fantastic. Zealous Persecution, instant for 2, until end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1 and creatures your opponents control get -1/-1. Lingering Soul, so this is a sorcery for 3. Get to put 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Has flashback for 1 and a black, so you can cast this from your graveyard for its flashback costs. Then exile it. Mortify, instant for 3. Destroy target creature or enchantment. Nice artwork on that one. Spectral Procession. Sorcery for, what is that? You can either pay 3 white or 6. Put 3 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Alright, so a couple of those. Unmake, instant for 3. Exile target creature. Ancient Craving, another rare, I believe. Sorcery for 4. You draw 3 cards and you lose 3 life. Get a close-up look at that one. Mark of the Vampire, enchantment aura for 4. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has lifelink. I've seen that one reprinted recently as well. Another rare here, Field of Souls, enchantment for 4. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Absorb Viz, sorcery for 7. Target player loses 4 life and you gain 4 life. Has basic land cycling 1 and a black. So you pay that, discard this card, get to search your library for a basic land card, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your library. And what is this? Finally, another rare, Death Grasp, sorcery for X, white and black. Deals 8 damage to target creature or player. You gain X life. Okay, so there we are. That is the deck for Sorin. Seems pretty decent. And just another note on these are not standard legal, obviously. They're meant to be played against each other, so they typically balance them out. Okay, so now we will take a look at this fellow, everybody's favorite Planeswalker, Tibalt the Fiend-Blooded. Planeswalker Tibalt, 2 loyalty for 2. His +1, draw a card, then discard a card at random. His -4 deals damage equal to the number of cards in target player's hand to that player. That's the fun one. -6, gain control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them, they gain haste until end of turn. So turn your opponent's creatures against them. Very cool. Okay, so now we're going to dig into this deck. Get a look at the lands first of all. So we start off with an Akoum Refuge. So it enters tapped. When it enters battlefield you gain 1 life. You can tap it for black or red. 2 of those. Rakdos Carnarium. Who is a fan of the Rakdos Guild? Leave a note in the comments. So this one enters tapped. When it enters battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. And you can add red and black to your mana pool. Nice. Okay, so good for those Rakdos cards, which I'm sure there'll be more than a few here. Then we have mountains. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 14, I think. And swamps. 6 of those, a few less of those. And another spirit token with flying. Single-sided, okay. Not sure if this guy would do spirits. I would think not. So it's probably just for use with that other deck. And off to a great start. We have a Goblin Arsonist. Creature Goblin Shaman. 1/1 for a single red. When it dies, you may have it deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Scorched Resolka. Creature Spirit. 1/1 for a single red. Pay red, sack a creature, and it deals 1 damage to target player. Okay, so we do have a spirit here. Reassembling Skeleton. Creature Skeleton Warrior. Pay 1 and black, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Ashmouth Hound. Creature Elemental Hound, and whenever it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, it deals 1 damage to that creature. Okay, so a lot of aggro stuff going on here. Hellspark Elemental. Oh, and Elementals as well, that's a theme. That's something that came up in core set 2020, incidentally. So this guy has Trample and Haste at the beginning of the end step. Sack it. Has Unearth 1 and a red, so you pay that. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile at the beginning of the next end step, or if it would leave the battlefield, unearth only as a sorcery, so you can bring it back one last time. So 2 of those. Vithian Stinger. Creature Human Shaman, so this deals 1 damage to target creature or player when you tap it. Has Unearth 1 and a red. Some very cool artwork on that one. So 2 of those. Shambling Remains. Creature Zombie Horror, holy moly, can't block and has Unearth for red and black, so we saw that mechanic a moment ago. Coal Stoker, Creature Elemental, so this guy, when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, add 3 red mana to your mana pool. Bit like the, the Steamkin from the current standard. And a rare here, Lavaborn Muse, Creature Spirit, 3/3 for 4 at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If that player has 2 or fewer cards in hand, it deals 3 damage to him or her. Okay, and the Mad Prophet. He has haste, tap, discard a card, draw a card. Okay, so get some card draw in there. Another rare, Hell Rider, Creature Devil, 3/3 for 4. Has haste, whenever a creature you control attacks, it deals 1 damage to defending player. Skurzdag Cultist. So this one, pay red, tap, sack a creature, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Corpse Connoisseur, look at that. Creature Zombie Wizard, and when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card and put that card into your graveyard. If you do, shuffle your library. And for 3 and a black, it has Unearth there, so you can check that out. Scourge Devil. So just an uncommon, and when it enters battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Has Unearth 2 and a red. Yeah, no play sets here, not like the decks we had a look at yesterday, those Card Kingdom rookie decks. Very different here, a bit more advanced play style. Gang of Devils. So when it dies, it deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures and or players. Bump in the Night. Target opponent loses 3 life. You can flashback for 5 and red, so you can cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Blazing Salvo. Deals 3 damage to target creature unless that creature's controller has Blazing Salvo. Deal 5 damage to him or her. Okay, so they've got a choice area, the damage to creature or themselves. Faithless Looting. Here's a nice one. Sorcery for a single red. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Has flashback 2 and a red. So that's fairly popular in modern. Next we have Flame Slash. Deals 4 damage to target creature. Geist Flame. Deals 1 damage to target creature or player. You can flashback for 3 and a red. Pyroclasm. Deals 2 damage to each creature. So again, more aggro type damage strategies here. Recoup. So this one, target sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. Alright, and you can flashback this for 3 and a red. Terminate. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. Some cool artwork on that one. Strangling Soot. Destroy target creature with toughness 3 or less. Flashback for 5 and red. Browbeat. Any player may have this, deal 5 damage to him or her. If no one does, the target player draws 3 cards. So 2 of those. Breaking Point. So another rare sorcery for 3. Any player may have Breaking Point, deal 6 damage to him or her. If no one does, Destroy all creatures. Creatures destroyed this way can't be regenerated. That's pretty cool. Another rare, Sulfuric Vortex enchantment for 3 at the beginning of each player's upkeep. It deals 2 damage to that player. If a player would gain life, that player gains no life instead. Sorry, Sorin, you're out of luck there, sir. Blightning with the Rakdos colors here deals 2 damage to target player. That player discards 2 cards. Flame Javelin deals 4 damage to target creature or player. You're sensing a theme here. Torrent of Souls. That's pretty cool. Return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If black was spent to cast it, creatures target player controls get +2 plus your own gain haste until end of turn. If red was spent to cast it, do both if black and red was spent. Okay. Yep, that was uncommon. Then we get a rare here. Devil's Play. Sorcery for X and red. It deals X damage to target creature or player. Has flashback X and 3 red. Alright, so there we are. That is the Tibalt deck. So this would be a tough one for me because I like both the red and the black, the Rakdos colors. But I would probably say... Oh, this is a tough one. I typically play mono red, but I do like the vampire here, so I really can't decide. Maybe I'd give the edge to Sorin because he's a cooler planeswalker, I believe. Leave a note in the comments which deck you think is the best, which one you would play with. And have you picked this deck up in the past, or are you planning to? Let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button for more Magic the Gathering unboxings, and be sure to tap the notification bell to be notified as soon as new videos are released. Thanks for watching and have a great day.